Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I am Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, movies, and
decisions that lead to very unexpected results.
Apparently. Hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast and New Calls. You can also email us at echoundergroundpodcast@gmail.com. And today's episode is different, but not really. It's a movie, but with a little spin. Mm-hmm. It's the new Black Mirror movie called Bandersnatch. And short synopsis, we meet a guy named Stefan who's fucked up in the head. No, I'm playing.
Wow.
I'm playing. He's a little eccentric, and he created a video game based on this book called Bandersnatch by this guy named Jerome Davis, or is it Davis?
Jeffrey F. Davies.
Whatever the fuck his name is. Isn't that a basketball player? But anyway, this guy creates a book, and basically, if certain choices could lead to certain endings, which goes in the movie. You're basically playing out, during the movie, you're allowed to pick different choices for Stefan, and you can get multiple endings. Me and Michael know the endings, but we're going to talk about the ones that we actually got while we watched the movie. So, getting into the review, I don't know what to grade this. I'm going to give this a B+. Because, to be honest, the only reason I'm giving it, not even B+, just a B. The only reason I'm giving it a B, personally, is because I think this movie, without picking the choices, the movie's boring. If you think about it. Like, it's very slow. And if you didn't have all this meta stuff in it, I don't know if this movie would be as entertaining, so I'm giving it a B. But it's a very interesting concept, and I hope they do it again. What about you? What do you give this movie?
I'm giving this movie an easy A. Like, one, it's the first interactive piece of media on Netflix that I think for its first try did a great job. Now, this has come from someone who has not watched a lot of Black Mirror. I think I've seen like 2 full episodes so far. I'm very spotty with watching Black Mirror. But like this, I feel like, granted, yeah, without the decisions, it would be a pretty short movie. But we don't even know what decision the movie would have made for itself. Like, the actual idea that I caught from it was like, yo, this is more of like an adventure for the viewer instead of like a watchable piece of media. And I was like, you know what? That's not something we see a lot of. I mean, sure, the concept's been done online for like certain video games or whatever. But they incorporated it into Netflix. And they made a lot of the decisions that you can make wildly different. Like, when they say divergent paths, you can get crazy. You versus someone else who watched Bandersnatch might get different endings on your first run through. And I think it's really cool to, like, you know, go talk to someone and see how they got their ending and see how you got your ending. And, you know, even try to rewatch, like, a movie that's actually rewatchable just so you can see other ways the movie could have ended. And I was like, you know what? That's actually really cool. A really interesting concept that wasn't really used by Netflix so far, or by a lot of other, like, mainstream venues you can watch things on. So yeah, easy A for me. It's kind of creepy. It has this weird moments that like took you out of the movie for a second, but it was whatever. But yeah, I'll give this movie easy A.
Okay. So now from here on out, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't done the interactive movie yet, hold up. And you don't want spoilers, then you should do the movie and then come back and see what you get. And see what we did. But if you don't care, stay around and probably do it anyway, because you just might want to see what ending you get. Mm-hmm. So, getting into it, we start the movie off with Stefan, who's like talking to his father, and he's getting prepared for this big interview. And the first decision they ask you, hey, ghetto Frosted Flakes or ghetto Cocoa Puffs? No, I'm sorry, Pops. That's basically what it was. We picked the Frosted Flakes. And we were like, okay, that's pretty cool. Then the next thing, you go to the video game, the starter company for the video game, and you meet Colin Rickman, who he's like this big famous video guy, and he knows like everything about video games and creating it. He's a little weird, but you know. And your character, Stefan, loves this guy because he loves his work and plays all the video games. Stuff is new shit. You meet the boss, which I don't know his name. Tacker. He's a greedy son of a bitch, and he likes, you basically have to demo for him. And you demo, but Stefan didn't finish the game where you choose to worship the guy because he didn't expect him to pick that path because he's evil. But the guy was like, okay, can you finish this, yada yada. He gives you an offer saying, hey, you know what? Do you want to, work on it in office? We have a whole team that can help you and you can finish this quick. Or do you want to work on it alone? Or if you say no, then you end up working on it alone. Now, this is where we got our first ending, actually. Because I listened to Michael, right? And, look at his face. You said yes.
I agreed with you, though. When we first started, I was like, yo, you make the decisions because I know that when something go wrong, you're going to have somebody to blame. Lo and behold, the podcast started. She's like, because of Michael. I'm like, oh, here we go. Right on time.
I asked you your opinion, and you was like, yeah.
The same answer you had, though.
The same answer
you had. Hey, look at her dodging. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, I agreed with Michael, and
wow.
We chose yes. So you get an ending of the movie where it was like the game's finished, but the review for the game says yo, it's absolute trash because it rushed and they did the absolute minimum for the game. So Steph said, I'll try again. And then there's a screen that pops up and it says, oh, and when you do, Colin says wrong path. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Even though looking back,
Colin's one of the most meta things in this whole show, by the way. He's pretty cool.
So then the movie allows you to go back or exit, right? Mm. So I chose to go back. And it skips through some shit. And I also press no. Also on the bus, they allow you to pick what music he's listening to as well. And I say no. And also, funny thing about that is when you go back, Colin says different things. Mm-hmm. Stefan is aware of things he's not supposed to be aware of. And things look different. He says, I'm going to work on it alone. And the guy, the boss is like, all right, as long as you finish. Right. Whatever. So Stefan goes home and he's like, his dad's worried. So, are you sure that's the best way? Yada, yada. What did I forgot here? We meet Dr. Haynes at some point, right?
Well,
what happened?
We're jumping around a little bit. Only because after you say no, you work on it. You go home and you essentially start working on it, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, but does anything happen interesting?
Well,
I didn't think so. Before the doctor,
I think you yell at the dad. The game keeps giving you these choices, whether or not like break the computer or something like that.
Right. So he's at home. He's getting frustrated. The dad is worried, and you have a choice. You can yell at the dad or do something to your computer. Mm-hmm. And I said no because I don't want to destroy the game. So I end up yelling at the dad. And the dad gets mad. And then we're forced to go to Dr. Haynes. Now, here's where I did potentially the wrong decision. And I followed Colin instead of going to Dr. Haynes. And Colin took me to the house. And we met his girlfriend or fiance, whatever, and their daughter. And then we go into Colin's theater room or whatever the fuck it is, which is a pretty nice apartment, by the way. And he gives him some type of drug with the Bandersnatch creature on it. And you have a choice, take it or not. I took it because I was like, let's see what happens. So I take it, and some weird shit. And Colin starts talking about program access control and
Pac-Man and all that.
And all this weird conspiracy theories. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's happening? Then we go to the balcony and he's like, see, it doesn't matter because we always have a second chance. We're not in control of our own body, yada yada. So you can jump off and see whatever happens. So here's where we get our next ending. Because Michael does not help me.
Here we're going.
Michael's like, he didn't even tell me I was going to actually die until I actually jumped.
Here's the thing, though. At this point, we should know how literal the game is at this point. Because they're like, yo, do you want to do X, Y, and Z? It's going to be like, if you want to break a computer, you break the computer and end the whole thing. You're done. So if you jump off the balcony, you're probably going to be done, too. I'm just saying.
Anyway, so I jump off. Splat dies. Someone finished the game, most likely Colin, and And basically, it fails again. It failed saying, you know what? Give it a 2. It seems like they rushed, and the guy didn't even finish what he wanted to do. So the game fails again. But you're dead. So it tells you to go back. So I go back, and this time I tell Colin to jump. Colin jumps, and then what happens next?
He just leaves, pretty much. And this one, I'm forgetting how it diverges, because I think this is the one where it's like...
He goes to Dr. Haynes immediately after that. He ends up... No, what happens is Colin jumps, and he wakes up in the fucking car.
Oh, right.
So we couldn't figure out whether he actually jumps or was he dreaming.
Right.
But Stefan waits in the car, and they just go to see Dr. Haynes. Dr. Haynes is trying to get him to talk about his mom, but I was like, nah, I don't want to hear that shit. So we don't talk about the mom. We leave. Stefan goes back home. And then shit pops up on the computer. And he's like, I know you're controlling me, yada yada. And there's 2 options. You can pick Assemble, or you can pick Netflix. So we're going to hit the 3rd ending because I picked Netflix. He tells his dad, hey, I'm being controlled from the future, which is kind of funny. This is like the really meta ending
He's having a conversation with the computer, which is technically us watching Netflix, telling him what's happening. Like, hey, I'm in the 21st century, controlling you through some kind of entertainment media. And like, it's kind of cool to see his reaction to it, because this is getting like real fourth wall breaky or stuff like that. You know, it gets weird with this ending right here.
Right. So they rush to see the doctor because he's like, shit, I must be going crazy. And then the doctor goes real meta and be like, wouldn't we be more entertaining if we were being controlled by a streaming service from the future? And then I pick. So the answer was yes or fuck yeah. So I picked fuck yeah, not knowing what happened. I picked fuck yeah, and she takes out swords.
Well, I saw like batons really like.
It looked like, I thought it was like.
They were blades. They're like the things that police beat you down with, pretty much.
All right. Well, she takes out 2 of them shits, and there's an option to fight her, or I think go to the window or something like that. Right. I choose to fight her. I was like, shit, we down the path. Let's keep going. So there's like this big fight, and then out of nowhere, the father shows up and like tries to fight. And then you lose, and you end up being dragged out, and that's the end. You end up being drugged and dragged out by father. Because
he's like, I'm starting screaming at essentially the viewer, being like, "Are you happy now? Is this what you wanted? This the excitement you wanted? Yada yada yada." So that was interesting.
Now, we didn't pick the other ending, but we found out that if you pick one out the window, it becomes really meta, and you're on a set, but the actor still thinks he's Stefan, so it's like really confusing. But that was an interesting. But that's not one of the endings we actually got. So we go back again. We go see Dr. Haynes, and we talk about the mother, right? And we talk about the day he died, and apparently she was late for a train, and the train that she was on, derailed, and that's how she died. But then you see the father eyeing the toy and everything. So then it says, oh, go get the toy. So we go into the father's little room, and there's multiple passwords you can pick in. So first we picked Program Access Control Pack. And we find out that the father's been doing like weird experiments, faked the mom's death, been drugging him, and eventually we end up killing that man. And then it says, hey, bury him or chop him up. I went the fucked up route and chopped him up. Chopped him up. I finished the game. Cause I'm all zen and shit. Cause Stefan's a little psychopath.
Got 5 stars for it.
Yep, got 5 stars. Started seeing credits. Flash forward to the future. Colin's daughter is grown up, and she's redesigning the game for Netflix-like type of thing. But she's even being controlled, and she starts losing her shit. And that's the ending. That's actually the ending we got. And then the other ending, we go back. And we pick toy. And we actually get the toy. If I remember right. We actually get the toy.
And the dad sees you getting it.
Yeah. And then this time we bury him.
Yep.
And then we call Dr. Haynes. And we're talking about, No. Tucker
calls you because he still needs the game done on time, and that's when Colin comes over.
Right. Decker calls and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we need a game." I said, "Yeah, we're gonna have the game." So Colin comes over to help, and Colin does some weird meta shit. And was like, "Hey, I'm gonna die, so kill me."
But I'll be back in your next playthrough, pretty much. Something along those lines, where it's like he's aware that of the whole multi-universal theory thing, where it's like, no matter what you do, there's another decision out there that has you alive anyway, so he doesn't really care.
And then you kill him, but this time your game doesn't get released because of the murder, and you end up in prison. So most of the choices you end up in jail.
Yeah, a lot of these choices put you in prison. Yeah,
right. There was another choice where. What was the other choice we saw that we heard about? Because those were the only endings.
Well, there's the one where you die with your mom.
Right, because there's a chance for you to go back in time and put the teddy bear on there, but agree to go with her. So you end up on the train with her, but you both die. Then there's one where you end up killing the boss or Colin's wife.
You don't kill the boss.
Yes, there's an ending where you kill the boss. Yeah,
I didn't hear about that one.
Because he goes to the house and Stefan snaps. He kills her. He kills a lot of people.
I haven't noticed.
He kills Colin, his dad, Colin's wife, and the boss.
And himself, if you really count the rooftop thing.
Oh yeah, and himself. So he had 5 people. He killed every character in the story.
Good for Dr. Haynes, I guess, but I ain't really too worried about her.
She's either actress or she has batons. So I'm like, okay. The only way now it's an hour and a half movie, and we took about like 2. Because we didn't do every ending.
Right.
And I think even with every ending, I think if you did every ending, then you get the 5-hour thing. Because people was like, oh, let me find out every way you could get. What was your favorite ending?
The one we got with Pearl Rittman being controlled as well. I thought that was cool, only because we got introduced to Pearl very quickly, and as soon as they said her name in the future, where she's growing up and has her own little thing going on, I was like, oh, cool. But what I found cool about that ending as well, she had the symbols that Colin had, where the paths diverge, that kind of drove him crazy. So she was kind of going through the same thing for a while, and we're like, oh no, here we go, the whole Jeffrey Davies parallel. Because there was a part of the story that introduced Jeffrey Davies' problems. He was watching the documentary pretty much, and he realized a lot of things that happened to Jeffrey Davies is now happening to me. He became aware of this thing about choice and fates and all that. Things just can't be changed. You're not really in control. And then that's kind of where his psyche started to go away. I think that's my most interesting concept in the movie overall. When people are doing the Inception thing where they don't know if anything's really real. No matter what I do, even if I'm a murderer, it's not really me being wrong. I was just forced to do it by something greater than me. So seeing that all the way reverberating through the future with Pearl, I think Pearl's ending is one of the ones where Colin dies. I think that's just hella cool because she's kind of working on the same thing and potentially going down the same path. And I thought that was dope.
For me, no, Colin doesn't die because that's the ending where we just chopped up the father. Colin never makes it to the house.
Okay.
So yeah, her dad's still around. But
I thought that was the one where he jumped off the roof, though. Maybe you're right. I'm not really
no, remember he jumps off the roof, but he's still awake. But
he walked in the car.
Yeah, so.
But he went missing though. That's what happened.
He goes missing, right. But we don't know if he's dead.
Right. He goes missing.
Next thing is my favorite ending though is the Netflix one. I think
it's out there.
It's really out there, and I love the random fight. But I also like the one where you found out how shady the father is.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That was one of the creepier ones too. He did show yo, I'm part of PAX. I'm only here to drug you and control you and fake your memories apparently for all these years. I was like, oh boy, this is a big deep down conspiracy theory happening right here.
I think besides this, the only other Black Mirror thing that I remember really watching is the Black Museum one.
Oh, we saw the one with where they were running on the treadmills, right? What, did we not? I could have swore we did.
Maybe you did, but I did not.
Did you watch one with the pig, the first one?
Nope, you did. You told me about it, but I didn't.
Alright, maybe I did. I could have swore I watched with you. Never mind. Alright, I'm tripping then.
Yeah. You told me all about that one. But the only one I've really watched beside this movie is the one with the Black Museum.
That's one with Shuri, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard everybody talking about that one, but I have not. Yeah, like I said, this is our first one outside of Shanique's Black Museum. I have not seen Black Museum. I've only seen the one with the treadmills on the ground or whatever. And one of the first episodes with the pig.
The Black Museum one is like when they steal the black souls and they have a museum of it. And white people pay to torture the souls.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard that in my life. That was a completely new synopsis for something else.
Yeah, and like one of the souls, I think Letitia Wright, that's the actor's name. She comes there, she sees this shit, and she gets mad because one of the souls is her father's, and she kind of gets revenge on the guy because the father sold his soul to make sure his family is okay, but the guy gypped him and some shit just to steal his soul. It's a thing. It's an interesting episode. Black Mirror is not really my thing because I think a lot of the episodes are too slow for me. And then, it does this weird thing, slow as shit. And then at the end, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it always has, a really good twist.
Yeah.
I'll give it that, but you gotta work for it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, nah, I tried.
I'm kind of okay with that. A lot of times I'm usually not. Like we saw Anon the other time. That twist was alright. It wasn't super crazy, but it was alright because I like the sciencey, futuristic kind of thing going behind it. And this one was Black Mirror. I think kind of pretty much nailed it. I think the other one I can probably compare it to is Westworld because a lot of times I think some of those episodes are slow, but they end with some mind blowing bullshit. So
I know I still haven't seen. You still haven't seen season 2.
I thought you saw season 2.
I didn't see season 2.
Okay, alright. Well, yeah, I guess you haven't seen season 2.
But. Yeah, so what else? Was there anything... Now, I have a question. What would you do if you were Stefan?
Well, clearly I couldn't do anything because someone's controlling me, so it wouldn't fucking matter.
Well, okay, let's say it was... let's say you got the Netflix ending. What would you do?
Oh, exactly what we did in this, over here. I'd probably start kicking my dad in his balls or whatever. That's literally one of the options. You get the karate chop him or kick him in the nuts, and I don't think it makes a difference. So
yeah, it gives you the same ending. I don't know. I don't know if I would tell my dad to be in control by the future. I don't know. He reacted to things kind of weird, but I think it's because he has some type of mental shit. But let's say that everything. So, what I think is interesting is that I think the toy ending and the PAX ending are both true.
Yeah.
So that means his dad is doing that shit to him. But he never finds out. Yeah. Instead, he finds a toy and does all this other stuff. And that's kind of weird.
Well, remember, a toy ending can also lead to you dying with your mom anyway.
That's because mirrors are time machines.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that's still part of the toy ending, though.
But that's if you,
Yeah, it's after you put the password toy in, but the toy ending can branch out to something else, is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah. But the PAX ending gets canceled out if you change the past and you die with your mother. If you don't, then that still ending is still happening. That means your mom ain't even, a thing.
And something to be aware of as well. There are also secret Easter egg passwords you can put into the show. Apparently, we have not tried that ourselves because we thought our first couple of runs were pretty fun already. But let us know what other weird endings you guys got.
Yeah, because let us know if you got one of the ones we got because we got 4 different endings, or if you got the other random ones we heard about, which I think a lot of them are pretty cool, violent as shit, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's one with a dog, big digging up the bodies or something like that. Yeah, Q-Berry. So I don't know. Let us know how that worked out for you. I've only heard it in passing from Shanique. So
did you like Stefan as a character?
As a character, yeah, I liked him as a character.
I don't know. If it wasn't for all that weird shit going around him, he was a little too creepy for me.
I kind of have no choice but to like him as a character because of what the story is. He always seems like he's conflicted with something, and I like the idea that he's aware of the duplicity of all his actions in reality. If you say yes, it can lead to this. If you say no, it can lead to this. And he made a whole video game around it. I like that kind of stuff, the multiverse, reality choice thing. I love stuff like that. He just dealt with his in a very unhealthy way. That's all.
He did not know how to handle stress and deadlines and life. But I personally, my favorite character in this entire show is Colin. I think Colin is such a fascinating character. And what's also crazy about Colin, that is the kid from We Are the Millers. So I was like, oh, you've never seen We Are the Millers?
I have not.
That's a good fucking movie, but...
Is that the one where they go on like a road trip or something like that?
Yeah, and the fake family.
I think I remember seeing the trailer for that a while back. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about though.
I thought I saw that with you. Are you sure?
Positive.
I
know, not that I know what you're talking about. I'm positive I have not seen that movie. She side eyeing me over here.
Yeah. Okay, but it's kind of crazy that it's that guy. Okay, I know where you also know him. He's that asshole from fucking Maze Runner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? He
Who
for
shot
sure
the friend?
is. Yes.
Yeah.
What a... Wow. Okay. Shanika's good at this stuff, man.
I mean, I remember faces. I don't know the actor's name, though. But I liked you as a character. I liked him. He was pretty fun. Those are the only characters that were really fleshed out. I didn't particularly like the father. He gave me creepy vibes. But once I saw the PAX ending, I was like, you return to sender. I don't like you. I don't like your stuff. I just think it's kind of crazy. Like, what if this shit was real? Like, what if someone's watching this now?
Wow, this is getting like a meta ass podcast now. One thing I do like too was there was an answer in the thing. At one point, there is a chance to like kill your dad, and you stop yourself. So he's getting more and more aware that he's being controlled, and like he feels the impulse to do something, and like you see him fighting. I'm like, oh wow, like they're fighting the viewer, and I thought they took interactive to another level because they made the actors in the show conscious of you. Hell, they were conscious of their own world. One of the endings with the Netflix, when you jump out the window and like they just see the director and shit.
Yeah.
So this is definitely like one of those mindfuck things. Don't watch inebriated.
Can you imagine?
No.
Oh, especially the freaking high scene. You'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think this movie, I like that it touched on like alternate reality, not being really in control of your destiny, not believing in fate, but then not really being able to fight it because it was supposed to happen, it's going to happen, no matter what you do. Poor Stefan. I liked all the things that it touched on, and I thought it was a very interesting movie. Like I said, without the gimmick behind it, it's not really anything special, but it's still a fun movie, and it's the first one I've seen of its kind.
I think the gimmick is, well, in my opinion anyway, the gimmick is what they intended for. Like, I'm sure,
that's what I mean.
I'm sure they wouldn't have made it without the gimmick because, like, you know, they were like, this would just be another, like, you know, Netflix fodder that someone's going to skip over. They're going to see the thumbnail for it and skip over it. But
no, I
right
think
now,
people would still watch it, though, because it's Black Mirror.
I mean, yeah, it's Black Mirror, but I feel like no matter what they did without the interaction, this elevated it to a new level. Especially since right now it's the only interactive media on Netflix. So we'll see where they go with this in the future.
I hope they don't drag, like, you know, do it to death. Like,
no.
I don't mind them doing another one, but it needs to be spaced out. Like, I don't want another movie like
it don't need its own category yet.
No, I don't want that shit. Do you have anything else to say, or did we touch on everything?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So my recommendation is that, like, one, good movie. I'm not really sad that I saw it, and I thought it was a really cool concept that I don't think a lot of people thought about to do for a movie. Games, yes, but movies, no. So good job, Black Mirror. Good job, Netflix. Ready to be the first one there, right?
All right.
Probably, you know what's the next thing gonna be? Virtual reality. Like movies that you can, like...
Sounds expensive.
Yeah. They have already rides like that. Didn't we do a ride like that?
Me and you? No.
No. I did see... They have something like that in, like, fucking Union Station, like in the basement. There's, like, a VR thing down there. Yeah, but VR's trippy, and I feel like they're gonna eventually do VR movies where that person can be the character and stuff.
Well, we've seen some commercials now for the Oculus Go where like they actually watching movies together and like your 3D avatars next to each other.
Yeah.
We saw Leslie, what's her name?
Jones?
Leslie Jones and Wiz Khalifa looking at penguins and shit in his own. It was weird, but like yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be the next step.
But you don't even leave your house. Like, oh, you wanna go on a date? All right, let's go.
That's gonna be weird.
We had it in there.
You can't Netflix and chill that way. Whatever.
Technically, you can.
All right, we're not going to spell that one out. I'm going down that rabbit hole.
All right.
No, sir.
Hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast. You can find us on any social media and multiple podcasting apps under Echo Underground Podcast. And we will see you guys next episode. Bye.
See ya.